Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. It's your boy once again, JJ, right here on JJ's PC Builds. We're going to go ahead and get the B-roll started, so do stick around. We got more for you right on time, right on here on JJ's PC Builds. And welcome back from that B-roll. Okay, before we get started, I just want to say I want to thank all the new subscribers that have subscribed to the channel. Welcome to the family, just to let you know. And if you're just now seeing my video, make sure you subscribe. That way we can help build the channel. Come on over. I don't bite. I'm not, inhuman. And I'm an old fool, but anyway. Make sure you subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. Help us get the channel going and the channel growing here on JJ's PC Builds. And also, too, watch the videos from the beginning to the end. We're still working for 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. This way, YouTube will put us on the monetization list. And that way, my videos will go out a lot better. And y'all will be able to see them just as I post them. I know it's kind of crazy, but YouTube's got their rules, and I got to do what I got to do, and I'm trying to make this channel grow. So on that note, let's get to the video of the day. Alright, I was sitting there messing around with my PC, and I wanted to see something, because I think somebody was making a good point on the VRAM. If you increase the clock, the VRAM will lower itself. J2 made a video on this for the 7900 XTX. You might want to go watch that video over there. Explains that the more you increase the core clock, the more the VRAM decreases. I was sitting there trying to check it out, on mine, what difference it would make on mine compared to the newest card. Well, this is what I found out on mine, just to let you know. We're going to go ahead and flip over to that screen so y'all can see. Alright, this is the screen. Let me go ahead and pull myself right in here in the middle so that way I don't block anything. Here, I'll put myself up here. There we go. There we go, right there. Y'all can see me right there in the middle. Okay, up on your left side, which would be my left side if you're looking at the screen. Up on the left side, top left side, that's the benchmark for 1900 megahertz. Now, right here, it looks like, with it being at 1900 megahertz, the clocks, the VRAM was at 542. Okay, but what didn't make sense to me was when I went up to 2100 megahertz, that the VRAM clocks went down from 542 to 522. So that didn't kind of make sense to me. And then, because at 1900 megahertz, okay, at 1900 megahertz, let me make this point very clear. Okay, at 1900 megahertz, let me make my point clear. With it being at 542, but everything else staying the same and nothing else was adjusted, these are the numbers I was getting. But it just doesn't look like it was balancing. The only difference I noticed from 1900 megahertz to the 2300 megahertz threshold, it dropped in FPS at 1900 megahertz compared to the 2300 megahertz. 2300 megahertz, I was getting over about maybe 129 to 130 FPS at 2300 megahertz, but when I pushed it down to 1900 megahertz, I was getting like between 40 and 60 FPS. So going from 129 to 40 to 60 FPS, that made quite a big difference. Okay, so like here, you might as well just put it and say that I'm getting 40 to 60 FPS on this. I was getting like 60 to 65 FPS on this. This, I was getting like 67 to 83 FPS on this. And then I was getting over 120 FPS on this. So going up in clocks, the FPS would rise. Going down in clocks, the FPS, I lose FPS. So the thing is this: the higher the clocks on for my integrated graphics. Don't get me wrong, it's not a discrete graphics card. This is just an integrated graphics test. So going from 1900 megahertz to 2300 megahertz was a big difference. I mean, I gain clocks going up, I gain FPS going up in clocks, I lose FPS going down in clocks. So that seems about accurate. But I guess with the new 7900 XTX from AMD, the problem is the higher you go in clocks, the more VRAM you lose. Now, if you notice that I went down in clocks, I lost a little bit of VRAM, going from 677 down to 542, and it starts to wean off. I would say the lowest I got was the 542. Now, the 522 wasn't a full run. This was like a 3/4 partial run. But if I would have let this run fully, I would have bet this would have been 560. So, or 540 or 545, somewhere in between there. Just like this, the 2200 megahertz run, it would have been up there in the later 500s. But running almost a full run on the 2300 megahertz, you can see that it was using 677 megabytes of VRAM. Okay, that's about right. I would say that's about correct when it comes to the VRAM. Okay, but what doesn't make sense, I've gotten the VRAM to where I've pulled the maximum of the VRAM out of mine running at 2300 megahertz, and it pulled in some from the dedicated memory because it's an iGPU. It all pulls from the dedicated memory. This is all dedicated memory. There's no, ifs, ands, or buts about this. So, difference between dedicated memory and, memory built onto your discrete graphics card is the dedicated memory comes from the RAM that's on the motherboard itself. I kind of like that for the simple fact of that, you could put in 32 gigabytes of RAM and still have enough and dedicated enough, like 16 gigs of RAM, to the video card and dedicate 16 gigs of RAM to the processor, so you can split it half-half. That's the only reason I like doing it with an iGPU. But with the discrete graphics card, you get a little bit more of an advantage because you get onboard VRAM, which I don't. So I'm getting the maximum that I can pull from this is like 8 gigabytes for the video side. and 8 gigabytes for the processor side. So, you know, it kind of plays out here and there. But it depends on how much RAM you want to put into your computer when it comes to an iGPU. But as far as the dedicated graphics card, the whole purpose in this video is to let you know that there's like a little bug that's going on with the AMD RX 7900 XTX. You know, make sure you watch that one on Jay's 2 cents. High fives to you right there. And, you know, because I know you put that out there and you said nobody else is putting it out there. I kind of wanted to run this test myself on mine to see if it bleeds off into the older versions as it would into the newer versions, if y'all know what I mean. So, you know, I can tell you this, it doesn't work that way like it's doing on the 7900 XTX, you know, and you can all go watch his video for that test run. But when it comes to what's going on with mine, and, you know, like from now until the, like, I would say the 6000 series and 5000 series, I would say they would run about equal. I wouldn't say that, you know, you see that kind of up and down fashion like that. But that's with the older cards. That's not with the newer card, the newest card. Newest cards given a different response, just to let y'all know that. But anyway, I just wanted to get this video out here to let y'all know there's a little bit of discrepancy and where to go to see that video for the 7900 XTX on, you know, Jay's 2 cents. He's got a good one. Make sure you watch it. But anyway, we're going to jump out of here and like and subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. It helps us out and you can join the family. And that way you get the notifications for the best videos and whatsoever. And make sure you watch all the videos from beginning to end, because we need 4,000 watch hours. We are still working up towards that, and I think YouTube's kind of screwing us on the watch time. It's not being fair about that. So just to let you know, we need help on that. I need some serious help on the watch time. You know, if y'all get in there and just watch the videos from beginning to end, and that would be most helpful. But until the next time in the next video, this is JJ, your boy. We will see you on the next one.